intro number 2 for you guys for our recorded stream. This is Zach Sykes, the tournament director for the DMV Pool Championships. Just stopping in to say hi. We are up to the quarterfinals of this DMV 8-ball championship. We've got a race to 8 between BJ Ussery and Shaun Wilkie, two of the top 50 players in the country. So we know we're going to have an amazing match here. Bethany will be back with more commentary in a little bit. We are at Streetlights Billiards Academy in Alexandria, Virginia. Please enjoy the stream. Hey guys, this is Zach Sykes, tournament director. Just chiming in. It seems we do have our names switched up there. I'm going to fix that. Shaun got the first game, as this is a winner break. Thank you all for joining us for the stream. We're here at Streetlights Billiards Academy in Alexandria, Virginia, playing the DMV 8-ball championship. Go get 'em, Wilkie. That's right, Muhammad. Shaun is playing great this weekend. I watched him run 3 or 4 racks in his previous match. BJ also has been playing very strong. Knocked out Nathan Childress in this previous round before this one. And you can't do that unless you're playing well. If you are listening right now, why don't you chime in? Let me know who you think is going to take this one and make it through to our semifinals of this here DMV 8-ball championship. There's the fix on the names. Audio is very low. How about, Tony, how about now? How about now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I see what the issue is. Can you hear me now? That's probably better. All right. BJ is making short work of this rack. Looks like he set himself nicely for that green stripe. Nice. Thank you, Tony. Of course, Renee is rooting for BJ. Oh, perfect position for that 8. For those of you who are not familiar with the game of 8 ball, what these guys have to do is make all of the stripe balls or all of the solid balls. They choose, and then they have to play down until that 8 ball. So both players have to play the same 8 ball, obviously. And currently we are 1-1 in this match. Fantastic. BJ is a 755 Fargo, which is very hard to get to. And as he and I were talking earlier, it's very hard to move it from there. But that shows when you're a 755, it basically means that you are trying to, or that you consistently beat everybody who is in the low 700s and high 600s. So, looks like I have to go be tournament director for a minute. I will be right back. All right, we just had one more player make it through into the quarterfinals. Brett Stottlemyre has defeated Miroslav Stojanovic by a score of 8-4. And so he is going to be playing. Brett is going to be playing Tom Zippler next in one of our quarterfinals. This, of course, Shaun versus BJ is another one. And then next to them, we've got Mike Davis Jr. playing Jimmy Various. And then Brandon Schuff is waiting for the winner of Larry Kressel and Richie Oram. So these are some monsters in this field. All right, nice play out of a tough situation there from Shaun. Let's see what BJ can do with these low balls. He might be able to cut the 6. I think he's probably going to look at that combo. What is that, the 2-4? Ah, playing the defense. And that's right, 8-ball is not a run-out game. Control the table, way more important than sending it and leaving it wide open. Very, very sporty defense right there. Can he see the edge of that 10? Even if he can, that might just be a temptation. Shaun, of course, is multiple time Maryland state champion. I think he even might have a couple of other state championships under his belt. Been around the top levels of the pool scene for a long time. Run deep in the U.S. Open. He could see the edge of that 10. Oh, and look at that position, keeping the 10 in between the cue ball and that 2-4. I think BJ can go inside the 8 to cut that 6 down, but that cue ball is going to run, especially on these fast tables. These are 9-foot blue label diamonds. Standard 4.5-inch pockets, but deep diamond shelves. Checking his alignment. Oh, beautiful cut. And yep, there goes that cue ball. Good job of missing the traffic to leave himself a shot on this one. Another nice cut down the rail. And again, the cue ball is going to go down the table. Probably he's going to go outside. Put a little bit of right English on that to come down to the other side of this 5. That's where he goes. Good stuff. Using the 2 rail hits to eat up that impulse. Had he only hit the bottom rail, it probably would have bounced up past the 2-4. Nice. Got a little bit of angle on this. I think he's probably going to just move forward and play one of these into the side pocket. Good stuff. Hope y'all are staying dry out there this weekend. Lots of rain. No better place to be than in a pool hall. Hmm. The two ball does look like it would be easier to have a shot on the four after, but that is a very steep cut in the side. He's elected to go for the easier shot, tougher leave. But he's got a nice lane there. Good stuff. That is why he's number 19 in the country, folks. Comfortable down and up. Put this 8 in the side. And Mr. Ussery's going to be up to a 2-1 lead. Fantastic. For those of you not familiar with Streetlights Billiards Academy, we are a private pool hall in Alexandria, Virginia. We've got roughly 120 members, all paying a membership fee to be able to use the facility 24 hours a day, taking care of our stuff. So we have some of the best equipment, cleanest equipment anyway, and most consistent in the area. That's why these guys love to come and play on it, and we're super happy to have them. A lot of the top pros have been stopping by as they come through. If you are a top pro or know a top pro who didn't know about us yet, let us know when you're in town. We'll get you on a table, and you won't get kicked off at 3 o'clock in the morning, or for any leagues or drinking people. I'm not saying there aren't drinking people here, but we're not going to kick you off because of them. Nice break. I think it's dry, but that exploded. Unlucky that that was dry. Let's see what Shaun can do. Yeah, that was a great jump. Amazing. So we've got a 2-2 match here on this race to 8. Really exciting stuff. Some great play from these two. BJ has been a veteran of several of our DMV Pool Championship tournaments. Recently, he got second in our 10-ball championship to Mike Davis Jr. This is Shaun's first time at the academy. We're going to have to clip out that jump and make it one of the highlights of the tournament for sure. Oh, nearly. But he didn't leave really anything open. Shaun's got his choice here, but they are... Neither of the ball sets is really better than the other, at least to my 450 Fargo eyes. Their 700 plus Fargo eyes see things different. Sorry, I had to step out and do tournament director things there for a second. We do have all of our quarterfinal matches starting now. Brandon Schuff is playing Larry Kressler, a couple tables down from these guys. If they go on break, I'll pop you over there. Brett Stottlemyre is playing Tom Zippler. And of course, we have Mike Davis Jr. playing Jimmy Various. Let's see what Shaun can do with this. Looking for that breakout. What to do with those two balls. You don't want to leave them till the end, that's for sure. You might be able to either clip with this off the green stripe, or Might just be setting up to get the bottom one. Yep, that's what he's doing.
BS rolls 75.
This is a tough shot from Mr. Wilkie. Well, it's a tough shot, period. Maybe it's not a tough shot for him. You learn so much watching these guys. Nice shot. Nice shot. Try to put that in the 9 in the side. I think the tables are getting grippy. Nice out from BJ, taking advantage. We are at 2-2 here. We started this tournament yesterday with 45 players. They played 5 to a group, 9 groups, so 24 returned. 8 people got byes into the second round. Shaun Wilkie was one of them, by going 4-0 in their matches, in their round-robin groups. BJ actually did not go 4-0 in his round-robin group, so he had to play an extra. Yes, 3-2. Thanks, Dom. 3-2, BJ. Yeah, he actually did not win his group yesterday. Got taken out by one of our Academy members, Mr. Nahad Chowdhury. Shout out to him. Though Nahad got beat by Alir first round today. So let's see what these guys can do with this brack. 8-ball is such a fun game because there's so many different patterns you can play. Too many options for some people.
It's been a great match so far, hasn't it? I've been watching Brandon Schuff. He's battling out right now, too. So many good matches in this room. It's almost don't want to be back here doing the commentary because then I can only watch one of these monster tables. So happy to have so many world-class shooters in the house at the same time. Talk about some good pool. It's open table. Shot that 13 ball so crisp and pretty. Looking good for a run out now. I had the pleasure of playing BJ in my round robin group. Thankfully, it was alternating break, or I would not have shot at all, I think. But But, I did get the opportunity to at least break dry. No, but he nudged this ball and has made it now an obstacle. It's a bit of something we got to figure out here to continue a run, that's for sure. This 4-ball is crummy now. Decisionating. Mm. 8-ball's a different monster, man. Different kind of monster. Rotation's easy to do commentary on. You know what ball's coming next. There are only so many different paths to take to get to that one next ball. But 8-ball, wow, he broke it out, man. He didn't get a good shot on it, but at least he's still got the 9 or the 14. I think he's got his choice. The 9's a smaller pocket. If he can see the 14, that's a nicer shot, but probably going to be shooting short side on the 9 after. Let's see what he decides to do. Cue ball's got him jacked up too on the rail. Pretty. Nice stroke. That was the best choice I saw. Going for the 14, the 9 down table. And he's got a good angle here. He's trying to decide where he wants to be. But he's going to use this window between the 8-3. Got to make sure he misses the 6 as well. Phew! Excuse me. Sorry. Hit it a little thick. It's a tough shot. He held it well. Tried to cheat the pocket to hold it there, I think. Man. All right, Shaun's turn at the table. Like a kid in a candy store at the open table here. Can't quite tell if the 3 passes the 15 or if he's got to shoot it in the bottom right pocket. He's looking at that now. He couldn't quite tell himself. It's really important to walk around the table and look at things. Sometimes I don't do it just because I'm lazy and I'm always punished. Walk around the table and look. I feel like we got a pretty significant angle here to hold it. I think we might want to just make sure you power it enough to get to the other side of the 8 up center table. I don't think we want to try and hold it for the window. Just like this. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's nice to see a pro level, a pro caliber, pro player not taking things for granted, not taking shots for granted, and walking around the table looking at it. It's an awesome match. Boom. What a break. 2 different balls flew in so fast. Let's see, what do we have down? What do we have down? Oh, knocking stuff over. table looks nice from here. Problems have been solved. He doesn't know which one he wants to shoot first. Don't blame him. You certainly don't want to knock your 14 out by accident. It's a pretty small pocket without the 14 there. Gotta be precise if you go with this one. Pretty sure the 8 is the ball by the spot. It's the 4, 5, 6 that's a cluster of 3. Ooh, overcut. Okay, BJ's turn at the table. That cluster of 3 is quite a predicament here. The 6 has its own pocket. The 6, pretty sure the 6 passes the 13. But you gotta be in a specific spot. It's a mess. I'm looking forward to seeing how he handles this puzzle. Can he squeeze that behind the 14 and bump it out the way? That'd be great. Heck yeah. Maybe, is there a safety option? Can he maybe hit the 5? It'd be a real touchy shot though, but if he could just lay the cue ball up right between, like, kissing the 4. You want to go for it if you can go for it though. Oh, wow. Yes, sir. That was sweet. That was sweet. Does he have anything after, though? I'm not sure if he could see the 6. I think the 15's hooking him. Cutting the 3 in the side is tough. The 5 in the corner is pretty similar angle. So, let's see what he chooses. That was a great breakout of his cluster. and banking his ball, carrying it off his opponent's ball, squeezing it in the back end. That was great. That was great. But as often happens when you smash into a cluster of balls, you get a roulette. You never know what you're going to get. You might get a sweet shot or you might get a shit shot. All right. Playing a defensive shot. Controlling the table. Didn't really have a lot of choices there. It might be a good enough shot to earn him another time at the table, but with Shaun Wilkie shooting, it also might not be. This is bankable, and if you bank it, the leave is also natural to get to his 9-ball. And if he misses it, he will also be leaving the cue ball up table, and his object ball probably blocking the pocket. So it's a confident shot. It's a comfortable shot. You have nothing to lose doing it. I feel like you have a higher chance of making those too because there's no fear involved. Shouldn't be any fear involved anyway in pool, but you know what I mean. We've all been there. If you're watching this stream live, I'm going ahead and assuming you are a pool player. And if you're a pool player, you're a fan of this weekend because, man, this event is stacked. So many awesome players, and we have such great matches happening right now. And more to come after this one, of course. All right, are we banking the 9? Is that our decision? We got to bank at one of these. I didn't think about banking the 9, but yeah, bank the 9. Gotta have a place. In the Box Sports. Well, thank you very much. My name is Bethany Sykes. Oh, okay. See, you already knew who I am. I'm at a disadvantage. I don't know who you are in the box. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Paintball's tough to do commentary on. I'm a rotation player. And in rotation, you know what's coming next. It's the next ball in line, you know? There's only several ways to get there. But with 8-ball, there is a never-ending amount of decisions and choices we get to make. Look at that sweet shot by Shaun. Beautiful. One more tough shot. Should have a great shot on the 8 after, though. I'm assuming for the side pocket on the left, but you never know what player's going to choose. That was just the most natural one. Whoever wins this game breaks the lead. They are currently tied at 3-3. Beautiful. All right, Shaun is up 4-3 now. The next event in the DMV Pool Championship Series is actually going to be a single day, and it's next week, and I believe on Sunday, straight pool. All of you straight pool enthusiasts out there, I'll be throwing my hat in the ring, trying to get some practice before the American 14-1 Championship in Virginia Beach in a couple weeks. On that note, if you're playing in a tournament next weekend and it doesn't go your way on Saturday and you're out earlier than you'd like, we have a great event here on Sunday at Streetlight Billiards Academy. I feel like 14.1 is making a great comeback in the pool scene after John Schmidt started to make a run at breaking Willie Mosconi's record a couple years ago, and then Jason Shaw making a run at breaking that record much more recently. Sue Cookman! What's up, babe? Thanks for watching live. A pleasure to provide the pool and commentary. Thanks for hanging out. I miss your face. What do we got going on with this rack? Looks like we might be hooked by this point. So I don't think we can shoot anything up table. He's gonna have to shoot something down table. We got the 2 and the 13 all fudged up in the middle. He's looking now to see if any of those pass. That 13 might pass in the side. But I think that's the only possibility for that one. Break it up right now was the goal. Oof. Just an inch away, not even. But the sooner the better. You want to hit that out for sure. He's probably going to attack it again with the 3, I would assume. I don't think he's got the angle for the 4 to break it out right now. Looks a little flat, and he might run into the 3. Most definitely. And there's one every Friday night here at Streetlights. There's always a chip tournament every Friday night if you're just looking for a good time. Because it's a race to 1, 9-ball. But the 9-ball does have to be the last ball because it's a race to 1. And no one wants that nonsense of the 9 going in early by accident on a race to 1. And it's more like a pool party. But we always have the series tournaments on the weekend. We still have fun there too. But you gotta come and join us. Alright, didn't break it out there either. We're gonna have another ball to break those out with. The 4 is in a good place to break him out with, if he can get the cue ball to the right place. It's possible to even force something right now with the 5, but you'd have to force it a little bit. You have to hit it pretty hard. But I feel like you'd have a shot on the 4 after, at least a good probability. If you hit the left side of the 13, you don't want to hit the 13 square. You might freeze yourself on it or jack yourself up. You end up shooting the 7 down table or something. I mean, heck, if he wants to go for a long shot, he could also cut the 4 right now and run into it. There's so many choices 8-ball provides. If you want to work on your indecision, 8-ball is a great therapy for indecision, as it makes you decide. It doesn't look like much of an angle. I wonder what the new plan for that cluster is. Is he going to bank the 2? Does the 2 bank? Ugh. I don't know. He doesn't know either, it looks like. Yep. It looks like we're going for the bank. Let's get rid of this problem right now. I will definitely be there. Be there to watch quite a bit of it. We'll also be going to the... Ooh, what a bank! That was a sweet bank. Just gonna have another tough shot after that, of course, but that was pretty. I'll be going to the banquet dinner, that's what I was saying, for the Hall of Fame banquet dinner this time at the International. Looking forward to it. October has always been my favorite month because that's when all the big tournaments are. At least the ones that I can go to. Big tournaments all over the world all the time, but this one's only a few hour drive. With the thin cut, BJ. That was pretty. Good speed, got a great shot on the 1. But he's got a bit of an angle that's going to want to send the cue ball behind the 8-9, so I think he's going to choose to play it on purpose that way and go for the left side pocket. I do not think we can hold this for the 8-ball in the right side pocket. I don't think we want to try. But it's touchy because if you don't get enough, that 9-ball's going to be in your way. I don't know what he's going to do. Can you go down table and back up? He went at that a different way. I thought he was going to try and draw that to the side rail. Maybe that wasn't an option. Ooh, can he see an edge of that? I think we were trying to cut this in the left side, guys. This is going to be a heck of a shot. I apologize in advance if I squeal. That was awesome. All right. Not a traditional out, but a beautiful one. Tied it back up to 4-4 in this race to 8. Giddy up. If you're watching live with me, let me know who you're rooting for. Cheer on the players. Audience participation is always appreciated. Right, Megan? That was freaking amazing. Couldn't even tell if you could see that 8 from our view. It really looked like the opponent's ball was in front of it. Dominic Picarella rooting for Wilkie. Shaun's first time in the house. He's been trying to make it out to our events, but it's the first time it worked out for him. Pretty cool. Feels like old school tournament from 10 years ago almost. With Shaun Wilkie and Brandon Schuff and Mike Davis Jr. in the house. Raymond Pro Shop rooting for Shaun. Get some. It sure was, Eric. That was such an impressive out. I love the way BJ plays. Yep, that makes sense in the box. You gotta root for the guy wearing your jersey. Absolutely. Rooting for BJ. Awesome. Appreciate you guys rooting for the Gladiators. They're the ones putting on a show for us. Duking it out for our entertainment. And their compensation. You know, a little bit of both. The 1 and the 11 are clustered. Stripe's definitely better because that 15 ball is right by that cluster to bust them out. And the 2 and the 4 are messed up down the bottom table. Aren't as easy to bust out. So. Elvis, I thought it was, but I wasn't 100% sure. That's awesome. Miss you, Elvis. Megan's rooting for the person on table 1 that you all can't see. Yeah, when you have a microphone, it's usually a good idea to play it safe. Sue, I guess I'm Team Shaun Wilkie. I love it. That's funny. Reluctantly. Silly. Oh, oh, that got messy. Put the chalk down with emphasis. Can he see the 13? He's got to change all his plans, though. Run out change. All previous decisions made about the end of the run out are irrelevant. New plan must be made. That was sweet. Crispy. The 9th. It is October 9th, so 7 days from now. This upcoming Sunday. On Saturday, we have Roland Garcia in the house doing exhibition. And then, of course, Monday, we have the U.S. Open starting. And there are no limits on the straight pool event on Sunday. So there's no Fargo cap or anything like that. So if you know any pros in town looking for a tournament on Sunday, it's a great place to be. That would be amazing, Elvis. That would be absolutely amazing. Does that 8 pass the 2-4? Does it go into that corner? Are you friends with Zach Sykes on Facebook? He is the tournament director. Awesome. If you could send that to him, that would be sweet. Thank you. That was an amazing shot Shaun just did. Sent it around 3 rails. Put it right in the side. And we are playing winner break, as you can see in the top corner. So it is Shaun breaking. Score is now going to be 5-4. Shaun pulled ahead. Boom. 7 goes in. 3 ball goes in. Couple solids go in. Pretty sure it was the 7 and the 4, but not 100% sure. Wow. Well, solids are only 5 balls to run, so hello. You know, it's like curling. You gotta rub the ice. You gotta rub that Simonis before you send it over. Well, that was a pretty break and run. Made 4 balls off that break. 3 of them solids. Nice open. You ran it simple pattern. Fresh off of a break and run. What kind of break do we get? 1 ball goes down. 8 ball went flying around. Which is not end of game. It's just a respot or a re-rack. I think it's the player's choice.
If you can flick this on the side of the game over.
Yeah, wow, that was great. He tied up the 2 and 7 even as a bonus, and the 8 stayed free. 4 came up close to his 12, but his 12 is still free. Bit of a reach here. Gotta use a bridge though. He says, maybe I'll just shoot this one first. And he's like, no, I should shoot that one. At least that's what I do. I don't want to get a bridge. I have another option. And then you get down there and you're like, no, I really should. I love seeing the deliberation that he's taking, walking around the table and verifying his exact line and angle choices he wants to attack things at. Ooh, wow, that was perfect. I wasn't sure. Looked like it might clip that 4. And wow. Pool is a beautiful game. Beautiful sport when it's done right. Played well. There was no done right. You know what I mean, guys. Nailed it. And another break and run. Shaun on a 2-pack and now on the hill. Broke and ran the last 2 games in a row. Yeehaw. He's been breaking super well. This is the last time he gets to break in this match, being a winner break format. Unfortunately for Shaun, he made the cue ball. No other balls fell, so we have a full 15 ball puzzle on the table for BJ. But he's got ball in hand. Let's see what he decides to go with. I liked solids more as well with ball in hand because of that mess up top. He overcut it a bit. I think because of that he got a little extra travel on that cue ball. He didn't so much as overcut it to miss, obviously, but he hit to the inside of that pocket. Definitely forced the cue ball to travel more than he intended. Now he's got a long shot. I don't think he can see that 2 at all anymore. So the 1 ball it is. Still runnable. Just not his first choice anymore. Or can he see it? Can he see this? Why would you even be looking down table if you could see this? Sorry. If I could see that ball, I would not have even considered the 1. So I had assumed it was not a choice for him. Nice shot. Great out. Mm. This is some crispy pool. Every ball that's been shot at goes in the hole. The only variable is where that cue ball ends, and quite delightful. Sue Cookman, the score is now 7-5. Shaun is on the hill. It's right underneath of their names. The players themselves are flipping the scorecards. So Shaun's got the blue scorecard on the left, and BJ's got the red. It's in the shadows, but it's just underneath their names. BJ gets to break. Boom. 7 ball goes right in the side. It's not super open. We got a little clustery in the center. He's going to have a tough first shot. He's going to be jacked over a ball. It's all right. Hard to see. Don't feel bad, y'all. I'm here for you. My pleasure. It's because we're recording and streaming multiple tables, and this way we don't have a virtual, we don't have to keep changing things about the format on the computer. We just switch over, and everyone's got a scorecard where we could see it, and we just put the name in on the right color. And for now, it's what we're using. We're always upgrading. Nice shot there by BJ. He just picked apart that middle area, and now all of a sudden it looks like a very roundable table. I actually had a funny conversation with Shaun earlier because he was like, you made a longest lasting female. Oh no, just rattled it. Oh, what a bummer. You saw him throw his hand at frustration. Well, yeah, Shaun was saying I made longest, standing female, but that doesn't really mean anything when you're the only female in the field. It's only a prize when there's like 4 or more as an extra prize. But I did make it to day 2. Barely. CJ Oswald, the score is 7-5. Shaun is 7. It's right underneath of their names. In fact, let me see if I can enter. I added the word score. Not sure if it helped at all. Couldn't quite put it in the right place. I'm trying. Hi, CJ. I'm very well. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well as well. Oh, that rattled ball really did hurt BJ. He probably won't get to shoot again this set. And this is single elimination today. Hi, Z. Z shot great this weekend. Made it into day 2. Selvin, appreciate that feedback, and you're welcome. Glad to do it. I understand it's hard to see. It's pretty bright on my screen, but it makes sense that it would be on my screen, I guess. But I'm here for you. I'm here to help. Gonna get me a dinner break at the end of this match, but I'll be back as soon as I can for the next one. No break for commentators. Ain't that the truth, Elvis? It really is. That's where I put myself, Elvis. I don't put myself as a commentator. I put myself as a player. I mean, I did play in it. I knew I would have to bring my game to an entirely new level to compete with these monsters here in the end game, though. Like, unless you're doing packs. I am in the box, literally, Elvis. The room is a little box right now. It is just a little room with me and a computer. And the 2-ball hangs. The drama, the suspense. BJ gets back to the table, guys. This match is far from over. Maybe not far, but it's definitely not over. BJ back at the table. Ay, caramba. Can't say it any better than that. BJ happy for the chance at the table. Oof. Here it comes, last ball. All Alright, BJ takes that game, closing the gap, and it's now 7 for Shaun and 6 for BJ. 1 game split, and they are racing to 8. I'll never say no to dinner, Sue. I like food. I wonder what BJ's listening to in his earphones there. Those are some pretty intense headphones. Talk about noise canceling. Get in your zone headphones. I'm going to take a little player break right here. Makes sense. It's a good time to... I'll take some salsa, Yusuf. Definitely not over. I played BJ yesterday in the round robin, and he broke and ran every single rack that he broke. So he could break and run this one and the next one. Or he could at least break and run this one and be hill. Renee with the inside information usually doesn't listen to anything. Just wears the headphones to cancel out the noise then. That's fantastic to know. It's actually usually the only reason I'll put in earbuds. I don't listen to anything either. I just put them in to dissuade people from talking to me, and also to slightly mute the voices around. Bam. Dry break. Dry break. Shaun up at the table, deciding which balls he likes more. I certainly am not a big fan of stripes with the 13-12 hugging up table. Kind of limited on shots he even has to choose to shoot at. You know, what's available for him to even shoot at in a pocket? At least that did happen for BJ. If you're gonna break dry, this is how you want to break dry. It's still a fairly open table, but at the same time, your opponent has no shot, really. What's he gonna do? You cut the one ball down in the corner, bank the one ball, bank the one. Okay. Well, that was pretty. Crispy. Center pocket. Gonna have another tough shot. He's jacked up on that 15. Looks like he wasn't as jacked up on the 15 as I thought. Half the cue ball was peeking out. Still at 6 ball is a tough shot. It does not have a lot of window open for making. Wonder. He does have a window between the 10-8 if he can stop it on the 7. That's definitely one of his tricky balls. That's what he's trying to figure out right now. Again, I love watching the decision making and the deliberation. So I often rush this process in 8 ball. Try not to. He doesn't have the angle to stop it there for the 6 now, but he can do that with the 2. Just roll it forward a little bit here, naturally. These are always, I think these shots are pretty tough, squeezing them in the side, but he'll make it look nice and easy. But these are deep shelf diamonds, so oof. It's a tough shot. Those points really are hard to see, that inside point sticking out like that. Close. BJ gets a shot again. He's got a cluster here, though. He's got to figure out how to deal with. Almost looks like he could see that 13 right now in the corner. But I feel like he'd be pretty lucky to be able to have a nice shot on this cluster right now. Looks like he does, though. Well, isn't that just sweet? Sweet deal. It's an open table now. I was just about to say the 12 ball has a small window to get on, but I wasn't sure it went through the 11-9. It clearly does, or he wouldn't be shooting at it. And even bump that 8 ball, opening up the 8, making that a better target for later. Lovely. Oh, what an awesome match. I think this is going hill, guys. And we got a hill match. One more game to decide it all. The score is currently 7-7. Appreciate everyone who's watching live with us. Like and share the stream. We got more action for you after this too. These are our quarterfinals. We got semifinals next, followed by the finals after that. I wonder who's gonna be. I gotta stand up for this. I can't even sit in the chair anymore. I'm on my feet. Megan, I do not know, but as soon as this one's over, I will text you. I will find out after I leave the box. SYO match over on table 1, huh, Megan? Something we always have going on here at the Academy is something called SYO tournaments, which stands for Schedule Your Own. There are big SYO events the DMV Pool Championship puts on that are long races and unhandicapped, but we also have our in-house just street lights SYO with all of our members that are Fargo rated races. And that was brutal. That was literally the last thing that BJ wanted, and probably the first thing that Shaun wanted, but ball in hand. Off the break. That's brutal. That's brutal. Pete, I love it. I'm with you. But as long as the player can hear me, I'm not upset about it. It does frustrate me to play a player who is not present. I don't like that. And if I foul and I tell you it's ball in hand and you can't hear me, I'm not going to wave my arms like a maniac and yell at you to get your attention to tell you it's ball in hand. You better be just paying attention to the match, man. But although it might look like BJ has music on, it's just for show. Just looking at where he wants to be on this 14. It doesn't have a lot of open space around. I mean, I feel like shooting it up in the top right pocket might be the way I go. Rolling it forward here a little bit. Oof. He yeah, that didn't work out for him. Had a nudge there. He didn't get past it. If he got past it, he'd have a nice shot on it in the bottom left. Well, that's a good analogy, a good parallel, Elvis. It does block your opponent's moves because sometimes your opponent does do moves, intentionally or not. I definitely had an opponent yesterday. They had a problem keeping their mouth shut when they were sitting down, just talking to themselves about their own shot. But it's a little distracting when they're right behind me as I'm trying to shoot. Definitely a move. Unintentional, but a move. And headphones would block it. Now he's got a predicament. Looking at the bank here on the 14. Gonna have to juice it up with some draw too, if he wants to have a ball afterwards. Of course you want a ball after your shot. Don't shoot a shot if you don't want to if you don't have a ball afterwards. Oh man, the decision. This is intense. This is a key moment. This is a match deciding decision shot right here. So was the one before him that got him in this position. All right, the bank. We've decided. Once you decide, commit to your shot. No second guessing. Commit to the shot. Give it all. All you got. He is giving it all he's got. He's doing the full measurement, which we don't usually get to see with a bank. Getting a full parallel line eye measurement there, and it goes right in the freaking hole. Crispy. Clean. No other balls contacted. And a beautiful shot. On multiple balls. Definitely like the 12 on the side. Andrew Downs calling it like it is. Absolutely. This is the game. Gotta be sure about everything. If you're not sure, don't shoot it, man. And he did just that. Took his time deciding. Once he decided, he committed. And once he committed, he executed. Nahad, my man. It was, wasn't it? That was a beautiful bank. And it will earn him the match. Most likely. I'm assuming he finishes this out. Anything can still happen. Chalk that cue up. Pretty cue he's shooting with. He's got a nice angle here. Bring this back. Oh, he went forward. Different angle than I thought he had. Well, that was pretty. That was perfect. Jeez. This is such a beautiful game. Wow. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What a battle. What a fight. That was awesome. Shaun Wilkie is going to take this set and advance to the next round. We will have another stream for you in just a few minutes. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Love you. Bye.